baloney, dude.
Yeah, man.
Dude, Lakers are looking fucking solid. And you know what? I'm gonna bring in the white boy fucking sports.
Yeah.
Canucks are looking great
Bro.
too. They just had a fucking coach change.
All of a sudden, they're relevant again.
Yeah, they're relevant. They're 6-0.
6 and fucking 0.
Suck my dick and call me silly.
I was looking at some like really like baseline stats on that shit, and
Yeah.
the new coach, that's the record. Like when a new coach starts with a team, the record for a most undefeated is 6.
But you know that guy, he coached Ovechkin when Ovechkin wasn't
He's
shit.
super fucking solid. This guy,
Solid.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's like, I don't give a he's like, he made Ovechkin third line. Give me a bite of that junior chicken, you bitch.
Want some of that? Oh yeah. Huh?
Yeah, but Ovechkin was third line.
See, this guy's got some good. I mean,
do you-
obviously he's doing something fucking right.
I think they're gonna make.
You know, it's gonna be really fucking hard for them to make play. It's not like crazy hard, but they have to keep at this level for a while because they won 6 games in a row. The previous 23, they won 5.
No way.
Yeah. That's how crazy the difference
Okay.
is right now.
We're in it for the long run. But all I gotta say is it's cool when you see shit like that, you know?
Oh yeah,
Cause then the GM
absolutely. They
got
cleaned
fired.
house.
Yeah,
they cleaned house.
Cleaned house. Cleaned house. The
Everyone.
only reason I know this
GM coach.
is not because I'm dating some white chick. It's because my manager's like balls deep into it.
Oh yeah.
So now I know what it's all about. Earthy.
You haven't had a new phone in what, like 7 years? When did you get that?
Yeah,
When did you
yeah.
get one?
No, I keep switching phones. So I had a 10 at one point.
Oh, you did. When?
Yeah. This was 2.5. This was like right after we stopped doing Pornaholics. So I had a 10 for a little bit, and then I lost it,
Okay.
and then I was like, do I want to go back and get
another 10,
another 10,
or just like
or
fuck
just
fuck
fuck
for a
it?
bit. Yeah,
So I was like, yeah, fuck it, man, fuck this phone garbage. But these guys gave me a sick deal. Every 2 years, I get to upgrade my phone, which is what I'm gonna do.
You have to keep paying for it though.
It's only like $30 a month.
It's more than that.
No. This is.
You realize?
Do you know why?
You're financing a phone. That's literally what you're doing.
No, you're leasing a phone.
You're financing a phone.
No, because there's $800 that you don't pay because you return the phone.
Check you have to return this?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't say that. I thought
Yeah.
you kept it.
No, I don't.
Because like that's why mine is like
No,
I keep this.
There's no point. I don't want to keep it. What's the point? Just get a new one. How long before you gotta get a new one? Like you have to get a new one.
2 years.
No. But you have to get a new one.
I don't have to get. What do you mean?
No,
So-
okay.
You mean
Like-
personally?
Like no, your phone is like turns like this.
Oh,
and
so I
then
mean that, like
Yeah,
personally,
yeah,
how long?
personally.
I can make this 5 years.
5 years.
I could do 5 years.
Okay, so the only difference.
Although if I was my dad, like 10 years. You know what I mean?
sure,
But
but your
me-
dad only uses like
Me, 5 years.
your dad doesn't have the same mileage you got on Pornhub, son.
That's
Like
true.
you got some.
That's true.
You got some.
How much screen burn-in time on this? Yeah.
You got some kilo fucking gigabytes on fucking Pornhub, bro. They fucking gave you a blue check mark just for watching. You're a savage out there, dude.
Fuck off.
All the different kinds of porns, you know all about it. It's like, you know, the information that you have from regular life, you also have that translates into porn. You know what I mean?
5 years. Yeah, 5
so
years.
5 years. So let's do quick maths. Quick
Sure.
maths, okay? So $360 a year is what I pay.
This is $1,200 in total. for
Okay,
2 years.
$1,200 in 2 years.
2 years.
Okay, so you paid $1,200 in 2 years, okay?
Yes.
So let's just do at 3-year mark, your phone kind of slows down, correct? 3-4 year.
That's what you ask, but
Yeah, generally 3-4 year.
what's really happening is the battery life. That's
Yeah.
that's the real thing.
Yeah,
So you can actually stretch it by just swapping the battery.
sure. But 3-4 years. Okay? So that being said, I pay $360 a month, a year, right?
Does that add up?
$30 a month.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So in 2 years, I pay $720.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say every what did you say? Every 5 years you got to change it.
Yeah.
So that was $1,200.
Yeah.
When you bought it.
Uh-huh.
So the only difference between me and you is like $700 every 5 years.
About yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I rather just get a new phone. What's the difference? If I had a car, unless it's like a project car or something I'm gonna keep forever.
Yeah.
New car every year. I don't give a fuck. If I just have a new car, because this is the thing, you get a new car every 2 years. This is the best part. Technically, you don't have to actually change your oil at all. by the time
You don't have to do anything.
by
really.
the time you get some engine knocking, you give
Honestly,
that car back.
That's like the argument behind some people considering leases for cars in general. For some people, once they get to a certain level in life with like income and stuff,
Yeah.
it becomes financially viable for them to consider a lease. And it's like you just said, you're like, yeah, over a 5 or 10 year span or whatever, you might be slightly over a cost of if you had just bought it outright. But what you gain on the other side of, for example, on a car, no warranty issues because it's all covered.
Everything's covered.
Fucking if you can get the primo lease deals where you don't even have to pay for like mechanics and shit, where you just take it in to the dealer and they just take care of it and you're fine. Those are the best. You pay a bit more for those, but that's like primo as fuck because you don't. At that point, it's like having a rental car, except it's yours.
Yeah, let's be honest here. As a single man in Vancouver, what do you have to clear every month? You think to have a new car, new phone, and to own a nice apartment
How often?
every month. Every
No, I mean like how are you recycling? So like, are you getting a new phone? Are you getting a new whatever?
New phone, new car every 2 years.
New car every 2 years?
Well, yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
This guy does it.
No, sure. Okay, no, I'm just.
New car, new phone every 2 years. Then just have a mortgage.
just these. Yeah, I was just gonna say because some people do that too. They'll like.
But what's the
new
average
place
mortgage here? Like 3 Gs. A nice place, 3 Gs.
Well, okay. What's a nice place and what?
$800,000 or higher for an apartment.
Fuck. Okay, that's like a different level because like you can get 5. You can do like a $1,600 mortgage, and that's not dog shit. That's like reasonable. That's like 2 bed.
That's a hella down.
600.
That's a hella down.
It's a 20% down. I mean, people do it. I did it. But
you did it with who? By yourself?
Yeah. I told you this. What the fuck? What do you fuck think this was?
Okay.
Check the lease agreement, son. Check the more. I'll show you my bank papers if you don't believe me. But yeah, that's it's a 15. It's like 1550 something mortgage. Oh, that was like on a 530 like sell price and then 20% down.
Sure, but do you think it's hard to live there 2 people?
No.
No?
I mean, could you do it with more space? 100%.
Because like I had a roommate here,
Yeah.
and it was terrible. I hated it.
I'll tell you
I don't
this.
recommend girl roommates ever.
I'll tell you this. My ideal would definitely be like kick the roommate out. Not kick him out. He's a good guy. But like no roommate. Not having to need that or to even want that. And then just a bit more month to month room with my like how much I earn, and that'd be solid. I'd be like I wouldn't have to worry about shit. And then I'd be like, great. I could make it. I can manage it now. Like as it stands right now.
What kind of car?
Now here's the other problem.
Let's
now.
go back.
So, let's go back to the original
that.
question. Okay, so if you needed a new, if you wanted, if you wanted a new phone, new car, and then new mortgage, monthly you would need, I would say, 5. Okay, what are we going with mortgage? Is it 2 Gs, 2.5?
Well, we're talking Port Moody prices, son.
Even then, so what? You want 5% down, so you got to find 3 Gs.
It's gonna be 3 Gs, even
Jesus
with 20%
Christ, bro.
down.
Fucking hell! All right, so
Because
fine.
think about Dr. Evil's place.
Yeah, but he puts down.
He puts a lot of down, and it's still 30 something hundred.
On the first.
Yeah.
On the first.
Well,
not
and that was cheaper than 800. No. Yeah, it was 670.
You can actually just do the math. It's pretty simple.
No. I know. I'm just ballparking. There's no point of going into it. It's just too
No,
much wait time.
yeah, you can ballpark it really quick. Google like what's your monthly payments on a $400,000 mortgage or $500,000 mortgage.
Well, I know for $150,000, it's gonna be about 60,000. Let's do quick math.
Just do a quick math.
Quick maths.
Just say, just ask for the don't change. Just make a new tab. Okay, just go. Okay, you know what? Let's say this $600,000 loan.
350 Mercedes.
Because we're talking new.
2022
Yeah.
payments.
There you go. Oh, this can be good.
Oh,
What did you say? C class?
C.
All right. Let's get that C. C300? Standard, 4matic, standard.
No. Wait, what?
No special editions. That's gonna be,
no special edition.
whatever. You already did it. Oh yeah, that's actually
That's
reasonable.
not a special edition.
It's not, but that's reasonable price actually.
It's not actually.
Really?
It's not. It's really not.
Why is it
Because
not? What's reasonable then?
That's more.
Okay, fine, sure. Okay, it's just gonna be worse for you. Go ahead and finance.
I know. It's much worse.
Finance this thing.
Listen, let's go Audi because this is gonna be more expensive.
Mother.
You got your phone,
Which
is like nothing. That's
at that point.
dick,
It's like
right?
what's
I think
details at that point.
I think you need to clear like
7. I was gonna say 7
to 8,000.
Yeah,
after
I
taxes.
was gonna say 7.
Now let's be honest here. Who clears this
After
much
tax?
money after tax?
So then that's add another 45% on that. That's like 10, 11.
Yeah.
11.
Who clears this much money?
Not a lot of people, man.
Okay, but let's be honest. Who can clear a lot? Like, let's name a couple of people. Like, not people, but like job specifications.
Software engineers, probably soft devs, like senior soft devs, easy.
I would even say some not junior, but like intermediate.
Yeah, I guess so.
At bigger companies.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it depends on the company. So yeah, sure. If you're like Amazon intermediate dev, you're fine.
I mean,
like 250.
marriage probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So also there's another field of people that can afford this.
Is this legit or not legit?
No.
Okay.
This is legit. It's not coke dealers.
Field of people.
Listen,
like,
there's unions you can join that you do mad overtime.
Yeah, okay, I believe that.
Like
yeah,
Hydro is one of them.
Which are the best?
Lafarge is the best right now, other than if you work at the ports as a longshoreman.
Yeah, longshoreman. That one's always been pretty strong.
I know Lafarge, like, cause Buddy.
Yeah.
He clears, like.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like he worked 60-hour weeks at $38 an hour.
Huh, fucking hell.
And
what's his overtime? It's like 2 times, 1.5.
Well, it's 2 times after. It's 1.5.
Oh,
after
it's
8,
like a scaled one, right?
And then so he worked 16. He worked 12-hour days, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
For the last year in 2017.
Okay.
He didn't take any vacations off.
Right.
208.
Jesus.
That's gross.
Yeah,
so
that'll do it.
I mean, that's fucking sick. And I told him, I was like, dude, why do you live here?
I was just gonna ask you. So then, what's he doing here?
And he's like,
I got no need for more, or what's
he's
his
like,
bullshit?
why would I go? He's like, literally, I could go down the street,
Yeah.
pay like $2,500,
Yeah.
and get a smaller place.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, for me, like, I'm not trying to like impress nobody. Like, what's the fucking point for me?
I guess.
You know what I mean? But
Still,
Still.
it's not even so much like the impress. It's like at a certain point you want like nicer things where you live. You want to have just like some like basic essentials that you might want nicer than. So like you might want a newer place, not because it's new and it's like all fancy, but it's like okay, it's got nicer appliances, just like basic shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Past that certain point, once you get past those essentials or whatever, then it's like, yeah, you're not. Okay, do you really fucking care if it's like, as long as it's a stone countertop, you're good. You don't need it to be fucking like imported marble or like a nice fucking appliance is
There's
good.
a tier.
Exactly. Like it doesn't need to be a fucking mealy
Yeah.
oven. You know, it could just be like a brand new fucking Whirlpool is fine.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
I also think there's like other avenues of things that aren't getting accounted for as far as like him per se, but
oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I believe that.
But me myself, I wouldn't, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go Dr. Evil route. If I was same boat as him, I would wait until I have like $500,000 saved up, then just buy a house.
But that requires more hands-on.
What do you mean?
It requires more of you to be invested in it. Like it needs more attention, which you have for it, and you have the. That's why. Good point. Like I say, if I was him, but the thing is, if you were him, you wouldn't have the time, nor patience, nor know-how to get into that properly. You as Armand, you would. It makes more sense. But I think in his situation, it makes more sense to do what he's doing because at that point, you get into things that need less of your personal commitment and time into. So if you buy a bunch of apartments, that shit's going to get managed by the fucking strata most of the time. Yeah. The maintenance gets, you know what I mean? Like kind of that kind of stuff. So it's like at that point, it's more of a hands-off approach. Yeah. So I understand why someone would do that. But I think if you had, like in your situation, definitely.
Also, another aspect when you go into like construction. Yeah. These high rises that they're building it so fast the quality isn't. Is terrible
for sure. I don't think it takes a really super smart person to see that. Like if anyone's noticed, like, okay, build something, take a day to do it, and now do it in like an hour. Most people are gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut some corners to get that shit done.
Like me personally, man, like I kind of get it because I would just wait it off because you or Dr. Evil or Marriage. Let's say you guys keep the place and it builds, you sell it, and you try to buy a house or whatever. You keep re-ing up. Now, inflation's the same. Whether you buy one or you don't.
Yep.
Now, you could have just bought at a cheaper price, sure. But now it takes over more amount of your of your monthly income. So it grabs onto more. It snatches onto more. Versus here, if you do enough overtime or you have enough salary, it's actually, if your goal is to buy a house, it's more efficient just to save up till that $500,000 mark or whatever, then buy.
I don't agree with that.
This is let me break it down for you. Now, we do know apartments go up reasonably more, especially the newer ones, percentage-wise. Value goes up slightly more than houses. Okay, because obviously not enough people are into houses and the demand is lower, and people can't buy houses, right? So that's another thing. However, those apartments are seeked more, so the price of other apartments are also going up.
Yeah, everything is going up. Fair.
Okay. That being said, you are not only taking up more of your income monthly, so then you don't have enough money to save up, versus like somebody like me, whereas like my cost of living is like dick.
Well, hold on. Your home equity is your savings vehicle, right?
Sure.
Now, what's happening here is that you are losing a percentage of that to the bank because you're paying interest.
Not only are you paying, losing a percentage of that.
That's it.
Well,
like that, it stops there, because what you're paying them, a large portion of that or a portion of that is going straight into equity, which is just saved cash. It's just pooled cash. Is what it is.
But the value of other places are also going up.
Fair, but here's the thing: something that you're not like understanding. You need to ask yourself a basic question: can you beat inflation? Yes or no?
Yeah.
How are you beating inflation? By saving money.
Stocks.
Okay, now if you're doing that, that's a different story. However, if you're telling someone just save up cash, you're not beating inflation. You are riding. You're riding inflation. You are not. You are 100% not. If you are putting your money, I'll tell you. Okay, what's inflation at right now, roughly?
Altogether?
No, just in Canada. What's inflation at?
Well, they give you fucking inflation. So if we're basing it on what your employer gives you, or are we basing it on worldwide?
No, what is Canada's rough inflation at right now?
Anywhere from 2.5% to 10%, depends. Like what?
Okay, if you just put your cash in in the bank and you just save it, the savings account's giving you like 1.5%.
Sure.
That is not beating inflation. You are losing. You are losing to inflation at that point. So if your advice to somebody is just save cash, not really great advice. However, if what you said is true, if you're not going to take your cash and try and do something with that, whether it's stocks, whether it's an investment, whether it's some like company you want to, honestly, like, fair. Yes, go ahead. Like that's, if you've done enough research and it feels like it's a good idea to like, beat inflation, 100%, great idea. But if it's just going to sit there, not doing squat.
My backtrack argument is like, okay, yeah, you are beating inflation, and let's say I'm not. Okay, well, if you sell your place, other places are also more expensive. So you gotta count that against you, just like how you count inflation against me.
Yeah, but you're also trying to get into that anyways, because you buy a house.
I'm so much marginally cheaper in my cost of living.
No, what I'm saying is, today, 2021. The house you're looking at is X value. In 2025, that house is also going up. It's not like it stays flat the whole time. That is also going up, because you're saying, oh, your apartment value goes up, which is awesome, but then everything else goes up. Yeah, true, that's fair. But however, you're also buying into the same market.
Okay, but
that same market of where everything is going up.
But houses don't go up as much.
Sure, but it's not like this. You can compare. I've looked into this because when I was curious, when I was like going balls deep into it, I was checking out. There's a bunch of real estate boards out there. So there's like the Fraser Valley one. There's a Greater Vancouver one. You can check and see house prices versus apartment prices versus townhouse prices year on year on year, and its value up or down. It's true, houses go up less, but they're still going the fuck up. It's not like there's some flat curve. Like they're all going up.
What do you think the difference between you buying the timing of you buying a house, an apartment versus me buying a house is?
So the timing is tricky, because like if you knew the answer, you'd be, I wouldn't say you'd be God, but you'd be fucking like 0.1% of like mortgage. Sorry, of real estate investors in the area.
I'm looking at buying a house when I'm 33.
Mm-hmm. And I would say
if I keep this exact job and I just go up this way, nothing significant, no blow ups.
I would say it's not. It's a sound idea. It makes sense. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
100%.
But it's not like I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's gonna be a $3 million house.
No.
It's gonna be like 1.6 to 2.1 around there.
Yeah.
That's how much it's gonna be.
If that's what you're looking at, I would say it makes sense. Like it's not a bad idea. It's not a fantasy. It's realistic.
No, it's very realistic.
I think the idea with some people trying to get into the market as first time guys like myself and some of our friends is your hope is that you catch a slight like bump, like some kind of train.
Yeah.
Where like if you latch on, hopefully it climbs a lot and you can get out when it's like higher up and then maybe when you get off the ride is slow down a bit. So you can like again latch on again when it's not too bad. Because the worst thing what will happen is you're having to get off when shit's already like climbing up a ton. At that point, you're basically either breaking even or it's possible that you have lost a bit.
I think.
But predicting that is literally impossible.
A lot of guys I talk to in the Persian community that are like finance managers or, you know, in a real estate board, like in you know.
Yeah, sure.
They say. I don't know if you're aware of Toronto. Toronto is like it's a funny area.
Toronto's
it's a funny area. You could either get fucked and have it like as expensive as Vancouver, or you can get very very lucky even now. It's very dicey because like it's so big, that like few blocks this way, few blocks that way. It's a big deal in prices.
I believe that,
right? And they say in the next 10 years, Vancouver's going to turn into something like that. Whereas a few blocks this way, a few blocks that way, it makes a big difference.
Interesting.
And I don't think construction is going to stop necessarily. But if I had to, with the information I have with, you know, rental companies and how much their salaries are or how much their net value is increasing.
Yeah.
As far as like my own and other information I have from other people, it's actually slowing down.
Construction overall?
Construction overall is slowing down, like significantly.
Okay.
Not to the amount that, you know, construction is going to go out of business. It's still going to be like top, you know, 2-3 industries, but it's going to change drastically once we start running out of room of places that we don't want to live. Like, okay, right now, in the next 30 years, Maple Ridge is going to turn into the next Port Moody.
Yeah.
But that idea of like, oh, I live in Maple Ridge, the realities of taking an hour to get downtown Vancouver is never going to change. So it's not as glamorous.
Yeah.
So the prices are not going to be as glamorous. The demand's
well,
not
then
going to be
here's
as
the
glamorous.
thing. And also, because this is what's interesting to talk about, like urban planning and all that kind of shit in general, is because it gets people thinking about different scenarios and different ideas. And one of them is that if Vancouver is on the trajectory to grow into like a larger metropolitan city, like a true metropolitan city, something like a Los Angeles, like I don't know if I guess Toronto's there. Toronto's there actually. Yeah, they are for sure. I'm not saying on the level of New York, but the idea of like trying to reach like a New York level, where you don't just have one area to go, you'll have multiple hubs within that city that are desirable.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you can actually stretch. Once you start stretching desirable areas within a city of where you want to go, then you truly start stretching population density as well. Because these things essentially act like population hubs where you're going to have either main transportation centers or you're going to have main attractions, whether it's another, like a secondary downtown. Because, like, I mean, shit, you look at somewhere like LA, that shit's like fucking everywhere.
It's
you
too
got,
much.
You got Koreatown, you got actual downtown, which no one actually goes to because it's just finance. And then you got West Hollywood. And then you got the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have all of Santa Monica events. Like, you got all these things that pull you everywhere. So it's not like everyone's trying to get to one single area of LA. People are actually wanting to go to different parts of LA. And so what that ends up doing is it increases population density everywhere because everyone's trying to get closer to not just place A, but place B. Whereas before, like you just mentioned, like at this point in time, in reality, even though there are ideas for more, it's still really, you're trying to get to downtown Vancouver. Like, if you're going to do some shit, whether it's like a really nice fucking classy restaurant whether it's some bars, whether it's like
But
a main
LA
attraction like Stanley Park.
I agree.
You're still trying to get to downtown Vancouver, and you can see it kind of now. These developers are trying to develop other potential hubs.
It's gonna be
so Metrotown isn't one that they're trying to push. I don't know. We'll see if it happens in 10 years or not. But they're trying to build towers as well as like commercial, like big commercial areas. So stuff like that is going to be interesting to see, because if they can actually manage to be successful in that, then you'll have these areas that people actually want to live in for real, instead of like just getting as close as they can to Vancouver.
I think you're right, but I also think that even in Toronto or even in LA, there's, people talk. Nobody wants to live certain places. Nobody in Toronto wants to live in Mississauga.
Sure.
I mean, I don't see a problem with it, but I'm not from Toronto.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So yes, sure, people will have to choose based on their finances, but at the same time, if you can live downtown, you're gonna live downtown.
Yeah, but see, the thing in LA, where would you say is that? LA doesn't really have that.
LA's different. LA is so big, you can't compare LA because there's no two LAs, right? I don't know another LA that has the same kind of effect.
Tokyo's like that.
I haven't been, so I don't know. But as far as LA,
that's
like I can't
the
compare.
thing is, those are like true metropolitan areas, because those places are not only fucking massive, fuck ton of people there too.
Yeah.
But you don't get there by accident.
Yeah. It depends. That's why the traffic is retarded. Right? That's why the traffic
is a mess in LA, because they don't have fucking proper just transportation in general. Tokyo doesn't have that issue because they got actual like good transport. New York's another great example. New York's traffic might be dog shit.
It's dog shit.
But you don't need to drive to get around. So fuck it. No one cares.
You don't need to get around because the actual surface area of New York is not as big as.
No, but what I mean is like their transit, like their subway system is so good that is good enough for the city. They don't fucking. You don't really need a car.
If you wanted to implement that in a widespread city, because you got widespread cities and then you got close cities, right?
Sure.
You got big metropolitan areas like Tokyo and New York, but that's not the same as LA. LA is like Toronto, but no transit.
You realize Tokyo's huge, right?
No, I understand Tokyo's huge, but this is the thing.
Huge.
This is the thing. When a country has to invest, or when developers have to invest, they have to also deal with the fact of surface area.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay?
For sure.
So when you have one country and your biggest city is Tokyo, it's easy to just develop Tokyo. Whereas in America, how many major cities do you have?
Yeah.
It's so hard to develop that shit because you're like, where do I put my fucking...
Yeah, that's true.
That being said, LA is a fucking nightmare to get places by transit, dude.
No, it's because they don't have transit, man.
No, they do.
No,
but it's
don't.
Just
it's
garbage.
I've been there, man.
It's
like
so garbage.
Multiple times.
Dude, like, you look at bus stop sheets, right? You're like, okay, it's going to come in 40 minutes or something.
It's rough.
2 hours later, the guy comes. He's like smoking weed. Nobody's keeping track of shit.
It's fucking terrible.
What about it?
Just meth. Okay. What?
What?
Just meth. What do you know about meth?
Enough. What do you need?
No, I don't need.
You don't ask. You don't ask a drug dealer, what do you know about stuff? You just say what you need, and he'll.
Do you know that there's a major difference in how they make meth now versus how they used to make it like 30, 40 years ago?
Well, yeah. Now they make it chemically.
Yeah. Versus they used to use ephedrine before.
Yeah.
So how much do you know about that? Because I looked.
Me and Dr. Evil actually looked very into it because we were trying to do that.
I was.
Yeah.
All right. Don't incriminate yourself, bro.
It doesn't matter. Never did it. Fuck you, pigs. You can't catch me no more.
I was just listening to another podcast earlier this week, and they were talking about this major shift between how meth used to be essentially obtained via ephedrine, really simply, super simple, because they're so close. Methamphetamine and ephedrine are so close; it's like almost a one-step process. And then the USA outlawed ephedrine, so then people had to change their ways, and then
you can get ephedrine right now.
Yeah, but it's illegal though. That's what I mean. It used to be legal.
Here?
Yes. Go ahead and get me mass quantities of ephedrine. See what happens.
How much are we talking here?
Get me a fuck enough to get you flagged by the fuck. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean, is that you can't get it in the quantities that you would need to actually make the drug.
Yeah.
Like you can't get it like you can just walk in the fucking Home Hardware and get acetone. That's what I mean. The Hell's Angels stepped in and then developed this new method of cooking meth. But while that was happening in the States, that whole outlawing ephedrine didn't happen elsewhere. So places like Mexico, for example, You could get ephedrine easily up until like I think they said something like 10 years ago. Super easy. You get it and like you get vats of ephedrine. You can do whatever you want with it. And so then meth was still being cooked out of Mexico for a long time. And I haven't looked super deep in this. That's why I'm kind of I'm asking you about this. But this guy ended up talking how there was a shift in policy with the Mexican government, and they actually outlawed ephedrine as well because they're like, well, it seems like most of the use, yeah, right. Like it looks like most of the fucking ephedrine use is by meth cookers.
Yeah.
So when they outlawed ephedrine, then the Mexican cartels had to be like, well, how the fuck else are we gonna make this?
Yeah.
Like, oh, these fucking white guys made it a long time ago. Let's just copy what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Mexicans are cool in the sense that, like in America, when people think of meth, they're thinking like some guy in his trailer park, whatever. Yeah. In Mexico, man, they're labs. They're fucking huge, right? Because they make batch quantity. Like they don't, right? So anyways, they retooled. They start doing that. But here's the interesting part. It's a theory right now that hasn't been tested because you can't really authorize a study of meth. Like you can't just say like I'm gonna put arm on meth for like a month to see what happens, or like give meth to mice. But what seems to be kind of like the street theory right now is that it's called P2P. P2P meth is that chemical variant. P2P meth is a lot more mentally destabilizing than ephedrine based meth. So what they say is that when you take ephedrine based meth, it gives you a proper high. Makes you euphoric, good energy, lots of energy, makes you high essentially. Versus you take this P2P meth and you're like fucking borderline schizophrenic. You think someone's going to kill you through like your door. You hear weird sounds. You're fucking lonely. You don't want to really do any much. You're just like the droopy. Like, that's so anyways, that's the summary of the podcast here. I don't know if you know anything about this shit.
Nah, I've looked deep into it as far as doing this because I'm a criminal. It's not when it's a big lab. Yeah, it's worth it. You're getting many quantities, but meth in itself, as far as a sale product,
oh no, that's not what I was talking about. But
it's shit. Especially as like if you're trying to be like a one man crew, garbage. You want to deal with crack and coke and maybe heroin if you got enough guys.
Sure.
But meth, it's the worst return.
Yeah.
And so like as far as buying the chemical set, I've looked into this pretty deep.
That's the thing, because this you can get all those chemicals here, easily.
But as far as the lab, having the lab there, as far as having a crack house, it raises what you need.
Oh, for sure.
I can't just grow it here. Whereas like weed, I can just grow it here. It's not a big deal. Another thing, we don't have actual meth studies, but we do have studies of ADHD. And why do I bring that up? Things like Ritalin, right? Similar to coke, right? Now, does it produce the same side effects? No, it produces much worse side effects than coke. I didn't know if you know this. But like there has been more, because what they're saying is like you can concentrate the chemicals in a way where it affects people with ADHD or mental health people in a positive way.
Yeah.
But there's been so many outliers and so many outbreaks that it's not very stable.
Interesting.
Especially when you give it to somebody who's like underage.
Yeah.
Which this happens a lot with these,
of course, kids.
New age Christians and shit. My kid is, not studying class. Boom, here, Ritalin. Boom. Right? Another thing. Just the fact of trying to sell meth, it's not a product that's worth here because there's not enough demand here. Do you know why? Meth doesn't have what people usually chase is the euphoria.
Yes.
Meth on its own, even before this chemical stuff.
Yeah.
With ephedrine. Yeah. It still wasn't euphoric.
Was it not? Because that's not what I heard.
How meth is, it's very high energy.
Yes.
If you want to go euphoric, you go heroin.
Interesting.
Because when it's fully euphoric, you're almost out. You're asleep.
Yeah.
That's when it's true euphoria.
Because what I heard is that some of the old, like the ephedrine based meth, gave you some similar highs to ecstasy, even like Molly, because it gave you that like happy light high, versus like the one now is just like it's not a good place.
Ecstasy and Molly is cool. I mean I've used them.
Yeah.
But heroin is something else, dude. I'm telling you, like guys that I know that been druggies since that we were in high school.
Yeah.
And the moment they've done everything until that point. 1 week, you're like, what'd you do this week, man? I didn't see you. I got 3.5 grams of fucking heroin I've been shooting up.
Jesus, man.
How does that feel? Dude, I shoot up, I wake up 10 hours later.
Jeez. Okay, so here's the other interesting, I guess, point to that whole podcast, really, or this guy's actual like story and investigation. Think about who takes meth in general.
Whites.
Poor, homeless, people in poverty. So then the theory, and this is now he's really stretching at this point. You'd have to really like put more numbers in it, but it's like his idea is that this might be one of the main reasons why we've seen an increase in homelessness in the last 10, 15 years, why we've seen an increase in the amount of severe mental health issues with homeless people and people at risk in the last 10, 15 years. It has been because of this. And that got me thinking. It might be true. Because you see it.
It is
you
true.
see that shit here.
It is
and
true.
no one's really had I'm not saying this is the answer, right? Like, hold up. I'm not saying this is like solving our problems. Like, get Mexico to start using ephedrine again. We'll all be okay. That's not what I'm saying. But it's interesting to think about it because it doesn't take much to kind of just go downtown, go to the east side, and you went there 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and it didn't seem as busy as it is now. And it just gets people thinking, like, why? Why is that happening? There's probably a bunch of reasons, but this guy thinks like that might be one of the reasons.
Just to finish up, man, don't do meth, kids.
Don't do, definitely don't do meth. That's not.
Don't do meth. Say like what you should do, or what you could do that wouldn't fuck you. I wouldn't say that you're really safe from anything. I would say
just go to the gym, chase that natural high.
The natural high is the best because all the hard work you gotta do. But I'll even point something else out. Even something as simple as love towards the wrong person can really fuck you up. And it's not like meth where you can go to rehab. You gotta live that shit. If you got kids with this bitch, you gotta live that shit up the rest of your life, dog. Even when you're 45 and you're picking up your kid, you smell the cologne of the stepdad.
Reminder.
That's a slap in the face when you're smelling that fucking cologne.
Fucking hell.
Hector, how did you feel? Are you picking up your little daughter, little Hectorita, and then boom, fucking Sauvage Dior.
That ruins the. That's fucking mine. That's me.
You fuck.
Yeah, man, that'll fuck me up for sure.
Got any last words?
It's been a good one, man.
It's been a good one, man. It's been a good one. It's been a fast one. Tomorrow we're gonna have the boys. Why can't you make it, you fucking bitch? Why can't you make it?
No, I'm
man?
kidding. I'm gonna see Vince.
Why? Just bring him up.
No, we're gonna go see a movie. That's why.
I'm not even gonna judge this.
It's Vince, man.
Who the fuck watches movies at the theater?
It's fucking me and Vince. It does since we were kids.
Dude, you guys are savages. I love you guys. Just tell Vince I said hi.
Yeah, I will. Well, no. Here's the other thing. He leaves on Monday.
Oh,
he goes to Mexico.
How long?
It was gonna be for like 3 weeks, but then COVID being all fucking stupid and shit, cut it down to like a week and a half.
Damn.
Gonna go see his girlfriend's family, the whole shit, in Guadalajara.
Time to carry a gap, bro.
Well, yeah.
Because Guadalajara.
Come backpacking.
Dog,
I know.
Come backpacking and go there packing, bro.
Rough.
All right. You fucking savages. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Funny But Foul.
Instagram, Funny But Foul Podcast.
Yes, and make sure you check out our Anchor shit, our fucking Spotify, Apple
Podcast.
everywhere
you can find your podcast, we're there.
All that good shit, man. Keep that good energy up. We're out.